There is Ange Postecoglou talking to Patrick Davison. Enzo Maresca is standing by to speak to us. Enzo, do come in and join us.
Okay. How are you doing? You all right?
Good to see you, Enzo. Come and join us. Congratulations on a terrific victory. What was at the heart of it for you? And were you equally pleased with the performance as the result?
Yeah, I think both they were quite good. For sure, in this moment, the result is an important part because we are close to the end of the season. In the same time, we try to achieve the result, playing in the way we want to play. And I think for some moment the team was very good. Then we don't work every day, and we don't like to finish the game in the way we finished the last 10 minutes. But I just said that for me, if we want to become an important team, we need to win also this kind of game in a dirty way, an ugly way, and so yeah, quite happy.
So what were the elements of the performance that you did like?
No, overall I think it was a very good performance. I think we deserve to win the game. We create enough chances probably already first half to score. And then I think the performance was very good. In the last 10 minutes I think the team showed also effort, togetherness, spirit, and it's something that we need.
Congratulations, another Chelsea win against Tottenham at home. I just want to ask you, I obviously have seen progression, I've seen the way that you work personally, and I just want to ask you, how you measure progression this season? Is it Champions League and winning the Europa? Is it one or the other? How do you measure progression for yourselves?
Yeah, if you measure on the result, for sure if we achieve Champions League is an important thing. But from my point of view, I try to see how we improve the day by day. And I can see since the first day, I think the team is getting better and better. We need to learn how to play different game because tonight, I think for us, it's better when we face teams that they press higher because we are more space to attack. In the last 4 games here, we played, Southampton, Leicester, Wolves, West Ham, all teams that they were waiting for us. So you struggle to find space, and we need to learn to play both kind of games.
Enzo, I know managers sometimes don't like to talk about individuals, but I want to ask about Moises Caicedo because I can't think of a better defensive midfield player around right now. He is covering so much ground. He picked up a really nasty injury, could have come off. A lot of players might have even come off, but he stayed on and he was a warrior for you today.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. I think in this moment he's one of the best or the best midfielder, defensive midfielder in the world. He's doing fantastic. The best thing about Moi is that every day he's working serious, he's very humble, he's very kind, he's polite, he's a fantastic guy. And I think today was another great performance. Also, I think we had more players like Trev, Chalobah did fantastic game, but I think overall all the teams was good.
And 55 seconds into the game, you turned Tottenham with a direct ball.
Yeah.
Was that something that you maybe thought that you could get success? Was that because you did it a few times and you got a lot of great situations from it?
Yeah, we prepare. We know that they are high pressing. We know that they hold the line, very high line. So we prepare today. We prepare more option in behind, even with Jadon, even with Pedro, Nico, and also the action, the goal we score. Enzo was in the right position once again, and yeah.
But is that also the Nicholas Jackson factor in your team? Did we see the difference that he can make to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I just said to some of the players that at the end, this game belongs to the players. And if you don't have players, you can have the best idea. But and us with the Nico, we are a different team because he's a threat in behind. Off the ball, he's pressing everyone. So we are a different team with the Nico.
Do you feel you're in a race now, Enzo? Is this little mini season to reach Champions League football next season? Aston Villa have strengthened in January. They're in form. Newcastle have some momentum as well. Manchester City are not going away.
Yeah, but I think from now on is how you manage the emotion because in case you don't win, you see teams that they go ahead of you, and if you win, you see it there. So it's until the end it will be like this. It's how we manage the emotion, but for sure we have been all season there. The first part of the season, 5-6 months, we were even better. Now it's a matter to finish well.
Well done. Congratulations. Thank you, Enzo.
Is part of that then maybe going up another level again? Cohesion, rhythm. These players, a lot of them have been out a while. It doesn't just...
And we waited for 6 minutes for something that apparently the VAR official, Jared Gill, thought was clear and obvious. It's crazy, mate. It's madness, but we accept it. And when you accept something, I guess you have to take the fallout from it.
So I guess part of your issue then, or a big part of your issue, is the delay. But do you think that decision's wrong?
Look, Pat, you can try and force me into a corner.
I'm not trying to force you into anything.
You are. Did you think last night was a red card? Was it clear and obvious? Yes. Okay. How many minutes did it take this referee to figure out whether it's clear and obvious? In your just basic knowledge of human, vocabulary, clear and obvious, what does that suggest to you? That on the first replay, is that clear and obvious? If you have to watch something quite a few times, is that clear and obvious?
No, it's maybe not clear and obvious. I do think it's a foul, if I'm honest.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. So there you go. So the referee didn't see it. He then needs to see it for 6 minutes, but you get the right outcome, so you're happy, and that's why the game's going the way it is. And I guess people like you will continue to be happy sitting on your couches waiting for 6 minutes for clear and obvious stuff. That's fine. I don't agree with it, but that's fine.
Fine. What happened with you and the supporters tonight, Ange? Well, no, because they booed the substitutions you made. Yeah. Bergvall for Sarr, and when Sarr thought he'd scored, I saw that you looked at them. You heard the chants. You don't know what you're doing. You heard that?
No, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. You don't think you looked at the supporters?
No, I did. I wanted them to be happy, mate. We've just scored a cracking goal, so I wanted them to. I was listening. I wanted them to cheer because they haven't had a lot to cheer about.
Fine. So that was nothing to do with the substitutions being booed. If it's a no, it's a no. I've got it wrong. Fine.
First
fine.
time my substitutions have been booed. If you followed my sort of tenure, it's not the first time, and they're allowed to boo. But I wanted them to cheer because I thought it was a cracking goal.
Yeah. Okay. But look, you said in the week you did an interview with Mark Schwartz, and you talked about losing a large portion of the Tottenham fans. Yeah. Is that what we saw tonight? Do you feel like you've lost some of them?
I get it, Pat. You're trying really hard. That's fine. Look, you can pay. Look, you've already decided what the outcome is. My outcome tonight is it was a really tight game. I thought decided by a really poor decision, and apart from that, everyone got through healthy. We got some great minutes into some guys, and we moved to Sunday.
Okay. All right. And you saw enough for Thursday. Well, that's because the season hinges on that ultimately, doesn't it?
No, we've got to get Sunday first. We've got to go out there on Sunday. I think it's important that we continue to play.
Okay. Yeah. Ange, there's no agenda.
No, that's fine, mate. No worries. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Hopes alive. Did they do just about enough then for you, Glenn, to warrant the 3 points?
Oh yes, tonight, yeah. On that performance over the 90 minutes plus, it was a lot of plus.
12
they did
minutes.
They did enough. They were the dangerous team. They're the ones that created a lot in the first half. And then what the manager did, let's put three at the back. Let's put the big guys in because they thought Spurs might launch a few balls in there. Didn't actually do as much as I thought they should have done, right at the death there. But they dealt with everything that Spurs, threw at them. And it was only one chance really, right at the very end when Johnson got on the outside, crosses it through that 6-yard box where Son might have scored and Sanchez made a recovery save. Other than that, you can't really say that Spurs created any really other good chance. They really didn't. Chelsea were in control of that game, most of the game. Yeah.
Half chance from Mickey van der Ven, wasn't it? A little scrappy thing in the penalty area, he hits it into the ground. I agree with Glenn. I thought there was one team in control and that was Chelsea. And they deserved to win the game.
What it does do is it continues this stranglehold over Spurs, which is simply incredible at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, you got to forget that now. You can't worry about that. Like we talked at the top of the show, there's one game at a time. It's the Frankfurt game. It's next Thursday. Where they're going to get the confidence? I'll tell you where they're going to get confidence when they play at home to Southampton. That's where they get the confidence. If they was to lose that game, it's a different kettle of fish, but it's unthinkable. Unthinkable they can go into that with all their players back to fitness now, apart from Kulusevski, for them to lose at home to Southampton on the eve of a massive European tie, which they have to win.
Yeah, I think he'll rest a few of them players for Thursday for Frankfurt. Definitely. Van der Ven, he brought him off pretty right at the end there. Didn't want to take any risks with him.
No, because it has backfired before.
Yeah, of course. So he needs to get his number one team, his strongest team out there for the Thursday. Yeah. And let's face it, the squad that they've got, they should be able to go out against Southampton, who are virtually down, playing at home. You should get through that tie, that game and win the game.
Well, we'll talk more, I suppose, mid-term in terms of Spurs and Ange Postecoglou, where it leaves him between now and the end of the season. But took Chelsea, 4 minutes of the second half, Glenn, to get the match-winning goal, Enzo Fernandez. How did he find the space to make this header count?
Well, what it was, he goes into the penalty area and he's waiting for the ball to go out. He goes out and then he drifts. He just drifts on the blind side of Van der Ven. He hasn't had to make an acute look. We're watching here. We circle him. Look, Van der Ven's there. Romero's got Jackson there, and it just makes a subtle little run on the blind side. And if you don't open your body up there as a defender, you don't see him. Van der Ven, for whatever reason, has gone across to Romero's guy.
And Jackson.
He's gone to Jackson, where he was lined up nicely to be there, and he would have headed that away if he does his job well. And at the end of the day, it's a decent finish, but it was an easy finish for him.
He's got a real problem, Glenn, hasn't he, Mickey van der Ven? As soon as he can see, Enzo can see his number, you know you've got a serious problem. He's drifted behind him, cannot see him, and it's a fantastic header. He drifted into the box time and time again tonight. He's a better number 8. He's not a 6. They've got Caicedo to do that job.
Yeah.
He puts the shift in. He gets back, he gets up, and he's a goal threat. I think he's fulfilling his potential. I know he's won things. I think he's a major player for them in the future, but they have to build around him.
What did you make of the Spurs defenders and their body language at the point that ball goes over?
Well, I thought all night. I sing the praises of Mickey van der Ven all of the time. I think in straight lines, when the ball's in behind him, he recovers. I think he's very good. He's dynamic the way he recovers. I think he can still improve. He's still developing. I think from crosses, he's not the best, and it showed it there tonight. It's highlighted that, but you need to keep developing. Just because they're in the first team doesn't matter. You need to keep showing them. Keep showing the positives, showing the negatives, and they've got to take it on board. And at the moment, I think Mickey van der Ven can improve in them situations. I think it's only him. He has to hold his hands up there, and so it's drifted off the back of him.
His problem is, like any defender, Tim, is that he's looked to the ball. I used to say to defenders, when it's acute to you, when the ball's in front there, that's one thing. You can see the attack. Once it goes acute and there's a cross come in, if you look at that ball more than 2 seconds without having a look, readjusting over your shoulder, looking, we talk about midfield players, good midfield players, knowing the picture, looking over your shoulder, having your wing mirrors on. It's the same for defenders, to actually open your shoulder up, have a little glance. Where's he gone? Has he pulled off me? Have I got him? No, he's looked at the ball and he's looked at the ball and he's looked at the ball. Yeah. He hasn't got a clue where the attacker is.
Is it rustiness?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, there was a few of them in there who have not played a lot, but you could say the same for Chelsea. He's lasted 74 minutes or whatever, Nicholas Jackson, maybe even longer. Cole Palmer stays in there. I think you can't take away from the quality of the cross as well. He just lends it in there with his left foot, doesn't he? Doesn't just whip it aimlessly across. He knows exactly where Enzo's going to end up, and he puts it on the spot, and it's a good header. 6 minutes later, it felt like the contest was almost put to bed. Moises Caicedo scored this goal, but VAR, of course, intervened, and Levi Colwill was deemed to be offside. Yeah, good use of VAR. You think so? Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, once they've looked here, it's very tight. It's a toenail decision again, which I don't like, and it was a wonderful strike. But, I mean, for the naked eye, it looked like he was just offside. It took an awful long time, but as long as they get to the correct decision, that's what they did. But again, Tottenham clearing it, and there's no one winning the second ball. Caicedo's there again. He anticipates where the ball's going to fall, and it's a great volley from him. But it's the correct decision. It's marginal, though, isn't it? It's so tight.
No, it's miles offside. No, I mean, that was good use of VAR, and that's what you need it there for, lines. It just took so long, didn't it? Yeah. It was a crucial decision. It was tight as well, let's be fair. I can't wait for automated offsides to come in. Because come in, April the 12th? We can get them earlier. We can get them earlier. But it's so easy and clearer and crisp, and oh, look, it is a toenail. You can see it's a toenail. Whereas that red line, you can't tell if that line's too thick at the moment. Yeah. For us, we're going, maybe it might have gone the other way. But, once that comes in, it's much clearer and it'll be quicker and let the game flow again. In the end, how much better did Chelsea look for having Jackson and Palmer back in the lineup?
Yeah, improved them. Well, you've got a vocal point up front, haven't you? Someone who occupies defenders and creates space for others. I think he looked a real threat from the first minute, when he goes in behind them. And he scares them to death with that. Automatically, they step back another 5 or 10 yards and it leaves the space for Enzo.
It was a minute in and he hit the post, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he is a real threat. I mean, he's hit and missed the boy. You don't know what you're going to get. He's a bag of rebels, but in the end, I think he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He knows he's a nuisance, and that's what he is. Yeah. He's an absolute nuisance, and I mean that as a big positive, and that's a compliment from me. I would have loved to have him in my team, because he can be hit and miss with the finishing. Sometimes he needs to slow himself down in front of goal, but he's a real threat behind. That's a bag of chocolates, in case anybody doesn't know what they are, but others are available.
We showed the clips before the game. of what they've been missing. Neto weren't going to do that run when he was playing.
No.
He was wanting to come towards the ball. Suddenly, within first minute, we've showed them clips, he's going on the back of the defence, and as Tim says, now you're stretching the pitch. You've got a number 10 in there, a proper number 10, as in Cole, who's now going to create a lot more space for him to go and play and hurt you. Whereas Neto will be coming towards the ball and crowding that out, and then it's the number 10 that's got to go in behind.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's not Chelsea. He gave them that little threat in behind, and any defender will tell you that's where they don't want. They don't want that player coming towards the ball and spinning and getting in behind. That's a nightmare for them.
I did mention how maybe Van der Ven might have been rusty with the decision making for that header, but considering that Jackson was out for 2 months, I mean, there was no sign of that whatsoever.
No, he looked as sharp as anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got to say, he wanted to go in behind. He didn't look really fatigued, where you're thinking, oh, you better drag him off. He protected him. But no, he looked really sharp. Sometimes that happens, you know. Your first one or two, you feel
adrenaline.
it's about the third one that you, from my experience, you know, the first one or two,
I agree.
if you've been out a while, is okay. You get through that. But it's the third one.
And they're playing no reserve games these days.
No, that's right. Yeah.
You know, they just get themselves up. The heart monitors are on. The sports scientists say, yes, Gaffer, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
They know their bodies more than anyone. The manager has to trust him. He's asked him. He's obviously trusted him to play 90 if he wanted to do that. I thought he played very well tonight. I really do.
Yeah. And he certainly signalled his intent so early in the game.
Yeah.
And I suppose Spurs centre-backs knew they were in for a match-up from that moment on.
It's exactly what you want. Just send a message out.
Yeah, exactly.
That, you know, you can try and squeeze us if you want. We know Tottenham like to put the press on. And if the Sanchez gets it out of his feet and hits it long, he goes over the top. It's it sent a message out that we can play both ways. If you want to go short, we'll do that. We'll go over the top as well. We've got Jackson who's going to threaten him behind.
Yeah.
Thought he was excellent.
Right, let's get some more reaction then on that big win for Chelsea. Pitchside at the bridge for us. Levi Colwell. Levi, thanks for joining us. Well done tonight on a hard-fought win in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was an amazing win for the boys, for the fans. It meant so much for all of us, and we're just so pleased to get the 3 points and push on to the next.
And how significant do you see that result in terms of your Champions League aspirations?
Yeah, definitely. We know Tottenham are a good side, and we've got to take every game like it's the final. And also, it's a derby. This meant so much for us and the fans, and we knew we had to